What's up, guys? Welcome to Let It Be Heard, where we are doers of the word, not hearers only. I'm your host, Jaden Hurd, and today we're going to be talking about how crazy these leftists have gotten on college campuses. We're going to be reacting to a video done by Officer Tatum. It actually just came out, and I just saw it. I haven't even seen it myself, but I saw it pop up on my feed for YouTube, and I just thought it'd be such a great idea if we tackle this, because it's actually insane how these people have gotten. They've gotten so bold. Don't mean bold in a good way. If you don't know, I graduated from Auburn University back in May, or not this May. I know it's May 13th right now as I'm recording this, but I graduated last year, May, right? So I'm 1 year out the dome, okay? And even when I was on college campus, there's a couple of times where I got canceled. One time, there was this mandate that they were trying to do on campus where if you were a staff or an assistant staff or whatever, you had to get the vaccine. I held up a sign one time that said, "Oh man, you guys are gonna think it's funny," but it said Auburn. It said Tuskegee study or Tuskegee experiment, and then it crossed out Tuskegee and I put Auburn on there. It wasn't my idea. I was the one with the sign, and whatever. That's like its own lore. But anyway, I got super canceled. Tuskegee came after me. There's a whole story done. Check out campus reform. As a matter of fact, I'll put it in the description. You guys can go check it out. Crazy article. But yeah, these folks is crazy, bro. And what's funny about the left is that they'll say, oh, be tolerant. But as soon as you have a different opinion than them, you're a Nazi, you're a white supremacist. I don't see how that's possible. I don't look much different than, your average black person. So I don't see how I can be a white supremacist. But anyway, let's check this out. Also, they claim this moral high ground, this hierarchy as far as racism goes. They feel like they have the exclusive rights to determine who's racist and who's not. Also, there's a stupid flea in my house. I can't freaking get it. It's been flying around this for like the past hour. So sorry if I'm swiping. But it's funny because they have like this monopoly on the race card. Yet, when someone like me, or someone like Tatum, or someone like Bryson Gray, or someone like, you name it, any black conservative, Anthony Watson, MAGA Hulk, Ben Carson, Thomas Sowell, who's that Supreme Court justice guy? I forgot. I'm blanking right now. These men right here who have just basic common sense, who don't actually identify as black Democrats, if we don't fit your little mold, then they start looking a lot like what they hate. And you'll probably see it in this video. So anyway, let's check this out.
I got about 5 more minutes. Go ahead.
And you founded Leftists with Candace Owens, who claims that Judaism is a religion based on pedophilia, and she also loves Hitler. So I want to know, do you love Hitler as much as her, or do you have a more nuanced stance? Because she thinks that there's a Jewish cabal that does pedophilic acts.
Look, I would take you more seriously if you stay to the true argument. Do she have things to say about Jews that maybe I disagree with? Yes. But does she love Hitler is insane.
Yeah, this is a very bad faith argument, and that's exactly what they do.
Love Hitler is insane.
She says that, she likes Hitler.
No, you said she loved Hitler.
She loves to.
You just made a fake argument.
No, I mean, you can say you love Lyndon B. Johnson because of his domestic policy, but not because of the Vietnam War. She loves domestic policy.
Candace Owens does not like Hitler. I don't agree with her on her Israel stuff or whatever she says about Jews or whatever. And even Nick Fuentes himself has kind of debunked some of the stuff that she said, because she's just kind of, I don't know where she's getting half her information from. But regardless, this is obviously a bad faith argument. And I like Candace a lot for a lot of reasons. I just don't agree with her on that. And I'm sure that's the same ideology or the same way of thinking Tatum is going to have. But this guy just wants to trap Tatum. It's obviously bad faith.
I know Candace personally. She did not like Hitler, okay?
What about how Stalin and Lenin are part of a Jewish cabal? How about that? Is that like...
That's her opinion.
That's her opinion. So how do you feel about that opinion? Is
I don't
Stalin
know.
part of the Jewish cabal, a person who killed,
I don't know.
by relatives.
Can you let me
Right?
speak? Can you let me speak? Look, I have no idea exactly what her arguments are, so I can't speak to her arguments.
But you're
I just
in
know what I
business
think.
with her. You're in business with her. You talk to her. You retweet her.
But I don't
say
listen to
she's-
everything she say.
So you don't know that
I
she
don't-
got let go from the Daily Wire.
I know that
because
part.
Of her so you never like.
No,
asked
she didn't
her-
get She didn't get let go of Daily Wire because of anti-Semitism. She got rid of. They fired her because she disagreed with Ben Shapiro, and he didn't like that. That's why she got let go from his company.
About what? About
I
what?
don't know. I don't know. Whatever.
It's funny because this guy, what did I open up the video saying? I opened up the video saying that the left will always play this monopoly card where they're the only ones that can determine what's racist, what's xenophobic, what's, Islamophobic, whatever phobia you want to throw in there, right? This guy, ironically, the white dude, has a monopoly on oppression and victimhood. And you know what I'm saying? And he's trying to tell a black dude about another black woman being racist. It's just, the irony is amazing. It's so funny. And and you know what's funny? He can't pin Tatum on his own views. He can't attack his own views. So he wants to pivot to someone else and put Tatum in a box with Candace Owens. These tactics,
Whatever.
man.
I don't know.
I don't know specifically, but it probably has something to do with Jews. Okay, let's move on.
It's about Judaism. No, but
Let me explain my perspective.
Judaism a pedophile
You go.
religion?
You go.
Is
I
the
don't
religion
believe
a
that.
pedophile-
I don't believe that.
You see how this isn't a good faith. All he's doing is he's trying to get a rise out of Tatum. He's trying to get something out of him so that he can get his 15 seconds of fame, so that he can just expose the conservative.
Why are you in business with someone who does?
Because people can't have their own opinion. Who are you to tell me who I should do business with because you're offended by what somebody else said?
I'm not.
That's the point. That's the thing
No, this is-
are you Jewish?
Yeah, partially.
This is the thing that I think people got to start backing off of, okay? I am the biggest proponent of the Jews out of probably anybody in the conservative movement.
That's true. That's true. Tatum loves Israel. Can't lie.
I've been to Israel. No. I've been to Israel. I love Jews. I mean, you name it. You can listen to my
Going
stuff.
to Israel doesn't mean you love Jews.
But I do.
That's a different.
But I do.
That's whole, no, maybe,
No, but I do.
might
I'm
like
giving you an
that.
explanation of things that I've done. But I do. You can't tell me. Go look at anything that I've ever posted. Now, let's move on. Somebody can have an opinion. Candace can have an opinion that's different than mine. Does that mean that I can't talk to her because she have a different of opinion? That's not how things work. When you're somebody's friend, that's not how it works. Me and her can have a dialogue and a conversation together about these things we disagree with. That don't mean I'm gonna stop being her friend because we disagree on
But you
things.
claim you don't.
I agree. And you know what's funny about this is that this guy probably has friends that we would say have radical takes that are awful, and yet he's going to stand by it because he's like, well, that doesn't necessarily reflect their character. And I think that's the same thing here. But obviously, we know he's not good faith.
You don't even know about it.
I don't know
because you
specifically.
haven't talked about
No, let me finish. I don't know specifically everything she says. I don't listen to everything she says.
it. Look it up.
Won't you look it up and you have a disagreement about what she says? I don't have a problem with Candace.
You don't have a.
I don't have a problem with Candace. She's my friend.
How about how she said that, Freudian psychology.
That's on her.
No. How she claims
He's
it's because
still
in
doing it.
Kabbalah
That's how she feels.
that raping.
But that's how she feels.
little
That don't
girls
mean
is
I feel
part
that
of
way.
the religion, really.
That's how she feels. That don't mean I feel that way.
But you are in business with.
What does that got to do with it?
What it has
She
to
hasn't
do
even
with is
seen
that
entitled to her own opinion.
That's how you begin
it's not.
normalizing anti-Semitism, genocide, and that's what you're after when it comes to the trans.
It's not true.
Too. No,
You see, literally, I think I just prophesied this. I've not seen this video. He's doing everything that I told you that they're going to do at the beginning of this video. I literally told you exactly what they do. And Tatum doesn't believe anything that Candace Owens says about any of that stuff. Yet somehow Tatum is being accused of genocide of Jews.
No, because you're
Not true.
using sports as the.
So we cancel each other out. So no, you're saying that Candace and I cancel each other out.
No, let me. say
Candace
that
and I
this is a
cancels each other
broader
out.
Problem.
Is that
No,
right?
It's a broader problem.
Okay.
Is that you're
It's not
using
true.
the trans issue of sports, something that affects literally, I think it's dozens of athletes in the United States.
Just like he will do the same thing with unarmed black men being pew-pewed by police every year. There's only a few, and I'm not even exaggerating. It's probably like maybe 10 a year. But they'll use that to try to make this big point about guns and white supremacy and systemic racism. Yet he wants to sit here and dog Tatum for talking about the trans issue. And it's not just about women's sports, it's about women's spaces.
minuscule.
Does it affect athletes?
You're using it as a fulcrum to start marginalizing them.
No, it's
because
not.
you're saying, look, it's men invading women's spaces. You're framing it as that.
Which is true.
And then you're.
It's quite literally
then it's about projecting that to the whole thing. Yes, it is.
That's what you believe.
And then it starts escalating.
Good for you. That's what you believe. That's not true.
Associate with someone who likes Hitler.
She don't like Hitler. You just lied.
Oh no, she does.
I dare you.
He's a liar. Candace never said that I like Hitler. Never said that.
Go on television and say that, and see how bad you get sued. She don't like Hitler.
Sued.
She never has.
She loves his domestic policy. She loves his domestic.
What does that got to do with me?
What it has to do with is that you're part of a right wing, which is increasingly normalizing what is going to be the words of genocide.
Who?
It's what you're
Trump?
doing.
The right wing?
Yes.
The biggest Jew lovers in American history are conservatives.
Not everyone in that administrative.
I can't do this anymore. This dude is really talking about how Trump is going to try to bring in genocide for the Jews. Man, do you not realize how much money we send to Israel, bro? Do you not this man Trump gets criticized by people for loving Israel too much. What are we talking about here? We're saying Trump hates Jewish people? The administration hates Jew. We literally, I mean, I don't agree with this, but we literally have right-wingers and people in the administration who believe that anti-Semitic hate speech should be illegal, which is a violation of the First Amendment. I don't agree with that, but like they're literally deporting people for protesting on behalf of Palestine, because like literally you can't make this up, bro. Come on, these people are literally getting their visas revoked because they're going against Israel, and this guy is saying you can't make this stuff up, bro. And this is what I mean. They don't want to attack the actual ideas of conservatism. They don't actually attack, philosophy and how we come to these conclusions. They want to attack you. If they frame you a certain way, then that discredits you. And then boom, leftism wins, right? It's exactly what they want. But it's a straw man. Tatum does not adopt Candace Owens' beliefs just because they founded Blexit together with Charlie Kirk. Okay? That's not something, like everything Charlie Kirk says is not something it's not something that Tatum or Candace Owens is going to agree with. Shoot. I ran Turning Point chapters. Okay, I ran the top Turning Point chapter in the nation last year with Auburn University. I don't agree with everything Charlie Kirk says. I agree with most of what he says, and I believe in his mission enough to run a chapter. But this doesn't mean that he's my Bible. Okay, the only Bible that I follow is the Holy Bible of the Old Testament, New Testament, 66 books: Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, the Gospels. And those are the only things infallible. Now you can pin me on that if you want to argue about what's in there. Then pin me on that. But if it comes out that Charlie Kirk says like tomorrow, like he gets exposed for saying the N-word, that's not reflective on me. That's reflective on him. And obviously as Christians, which is who this channel is for necessarily, I would say, we believe that we are accountable for our own sins, right? Ezekiel 18 talks about how the sins of the sinner shall be upon himself, right? And the righteousness of the righteous shall be upon himself. Right? We're not punished by God because of what our friend says, because of what our daughter, our father, our brother says. We're punished by what we say, by our works, by what we do or don't do. Sins of omission and sins of commission. But again, we know the left is just everything opposite of what we know to be true from the Bible. And it's just a great example of this. And this isn't the only thing that happened with Tatum. I know a little bit ago he went to UC Davis. Not UC Davis. Was it UC Davis? I don't remember. But they literally started taking his tent. Bro, they literally took his tent. One second. Like Tatum, fighting. Hold up, bro. They literally... I could not believe when I saw this, bro. Yeah, here it is, bro. Look at this. Look at how crazy these people are.
This group of nut jobs showed up on campus and they hit this lady in the head. The one that's right here. We got a video of them coming and hitting her in the back of the head in front of the cops. And then you're going to see me walk over to the cops and be like, bro, they just hit her in the head. And y'all not going to do anything?
And they claim to be Antifa, like anti-fascist, yet they're acting like fascists.
And then I had to step up because the women were there and I didn't know if they were going to come and try to beat the women up and do stuff to them. We'll see. He wrote a clip.
Watch out. Watch out. Hey,
Look, tell him.
Hey, Jackson, slow down.
Bro, look at this in front of the cops.
Get in there. Get in there.
The guy's telling the cops, hey man, you can't let him do it. They're taking all this stuff. Look at that.
This is the second time they came to campus.
That's crazy.
And they watched them.
That's crazy. I want to go to the. Yeah, look at this.
It's because we can't drive up. I'm gonna have to get out and walk. And they like, hey, the protest they're attacking. Look at them.
Look at this. Tearing up all their stuff.
Look, throwing stuff at people.
Why are we silencing black voices, dog? Like this, isn't this like kind of counterproductive to your ideology?
Look, what are they doing to that man? All right, hold on, pause it. Because y'all finna see me in action again.
Look at what they do right here.
Go back. Look at that part.
Look at this. Now I don't agree with.
You better get.
I don't agree with laying hands on them, but I'm just showing you this just to show you how crazy the left is and how. First, why would y'all try Officer Tatum? Why would y'all even try him? Watch this.
I put that T-force on.
Look how big he is.
Man, you better get your weight up. Then they started trying to talk. Look, they should point a finger at me. Man, get back.
But look at this. Look at, like, they're just taking this stuff, bro. I don't understand. Yeah, I don't know. That's it for that, though. But in essence, it's just painting you a picture for how crazy people are. And this is just for Brandon Tatum. Respectfully, he's not that controversial. You know what I mean? He's just your average conservative, black conservative, former police officer, professing Christian, has general conservative views, but he's not out here saying crazy. I really don't think he's out here saying anything that would merit something like that. Now, if I were to go to campus, okay, like I'm just playing. But know that these people, bro, have reached to a point to where they are what they preach against, what they hate. And I'm glad that I was able to show you guys this as well. I mean, one time I went to Alabama University of Alabama, and people were surrounding me. I was at a table, and it said, "Hot take: no one is born gay," which is true, right? There's no gay gene. And I got surrounded by 200 Alabama students. It was great, and they just were not tolerant. They wouldn't let me have a debate. It was kind of crazy. The cops had to escort me off campus. I didn't want people following me to my car, etc. But then I ended up going back to my car and then going back on campus because I got hungry. But anyway, sorry about. By the way, that was not your phone. That was my laptop, which has been tripping. I need a new laptop. I need a new MacBook or something, bro. It's messed up. It's so messed up. But anyway, I'm gonna let you guys go. Thank you guys for watching. Whoa, wait, Jaden, I can't let you guys go without at least telling you about letitbeheard.store. Okay, it's in the link in the description. Okay, we got conservative stuff. We got stuff for your mama, your daddy, your grandpa, your sister, your brother. Okay, I know Mother's Day just passed. I'll forgive you guys for not getting anything for Mother's Day from the letitbeheard.store. But we got stuff for male and female and whatever gender is in between that bimodal spectrum. Okay, get something. Okay, support your boy. A lot of good stuff on that store. Anyway, God bless you guys. If you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button. Click that notifications tab so you can get notifications every time I either go live or I put out a video. Like the video, comment on the video. If you like these kind of videos, by the way, maybe reacting to Tatum and it's just stuff like this, comment down below and I'll do more of it. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. God bless.